Ben Darnell. He's got back from Florida. He brought the humidity with him.
Sorry about that.
So it's 95 degrees and about 100% humidity, so it's sticky out there. And it's perfect because it's my daughter's first day of lacrosse camp this afternoon.
Oh, have fun.
They'll be getting all sweaty and nasty, but for everybody else out there, please be safe and understand you got to stay hydrated. This heat can get up on you quick.
Now, believe it or not, NBA Finals done. March Madness in the books, but there is so much basketball going on. Summer League just started. We have got USA, not only the men, the women.
Tuning up for the Olympics.
18U, 19U. What else we got? Hurley got a big deal today. There's a lot of hoops action here for a July 7th, July 8th show that I was not expecting today. Can we start with Bronny? We haven't even talked about Bronny, and everybody's talking about Bronny, but we never talk about Bronny.
Go ahead.
4 points, first game. Second game, load management.
First of all right, let's forget the play. Have your dad now defending you that my son is not going to listen to – just stop.
He doesn't care.
He's a pro now. The pro can sit there. He can defend himself. Critics are only going to be critical of his play once the season starts. Like summer ball, he was crappy in college.
4 points.
He's going to be crappy in the pros.
4
the
points.
load management's probably to protect him from maybe scoring 2 points, and now his average is at like 2 points in the first 2 games. So, I mean, the problem with LeBron, he's got to step away from his kid, you know? And, you know, the big thing with LeBron right now is trying to defend why these free agents do not want to play with the Lakers. Like, you know, you've got Klay Thompson's dad works for the Lakers. Klay Thompson said, I'm not playing with that team. That's not a good team. I don't want to be around Bronny.
His dad was trying to recruit.
Yeah, his dad was trying to recruit him, and he said, no, I'd rather go to Dallas. They were just in the finals. They're closer to winning, just more like the Golden State Warriors than ever. So why would I want to play with the Lakers? And so when you've got the contracts are pretty much, you're going to get what you get depending on how much time you got in the league. You've got your choice of what's going to make you happy and what's not. And going to the Lakers was not going to make him happy. He had already played in California. He knows the taxation there. It's ridiculous. Going to Dallas is going to be a lot easier on his wallet, and he's going to be on a much better team. He's playing with some superstars. So you don't want the baggage of the James gang right now, we can call them.
He didn't look that bad. When you watch some of the video, like he doesn't look out of place. He doesn't look slow. He doesn't look small. He missed a lot of shots.
I don't agree with that. He looks small. When I look at his dad and then I look at him, I'm like,
oh, for sure.
That's a mini-me
Watch
version.
the Summer League, though. He's
Right.
playing against a bunch of 18, 19-year-old kids. He's not playing against the big boys just yet. So, like, in that league, he looks comparable to most other players.
But when I saw Ken Griffey Jr. at Moeller High School when he was a kid, because he was around the locker room with his dad, I was like, this is a grown man at 18, and he was in the major leagues at 19 and doing insane stuff. You know, Barry Bonds, he was a lot skinnier than Bobby Bonds, but he was big. He was and he was talented. So when I, you know, I'm not just going to judge him on size. His shot isn't like his dad's. His leaping out of the gym, his defensive skills. So that, you know, you're going to always compare him to the old man. And just looking at his size, he just, you know, get in the weight room, start pumping some iron.
I'm trying to compare him to other 18-year-olds.
Yeah, you can't.
And I can't yet. Like,
Can't.
I'm not even close to thinking about his dad just yet. So
He wasn't even the 4th best player on USC last year.
I know. Well, he's out there.
He's out there.
Well,
I mean, he's a pro now. I mean, my biggest problem is, it's funny. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. I mean, that when you've got JJ Redick and you've got Pelinka out there trying to sell you on something you can't sell. You can't sell me that this guy deserved to be drafted 55th. You can't sell me on the contract you gave me. He didn't earn it. Now you're trying to tell me he doesn't care about criticism. Fine. Then sit there and get in front of a camera, get in front of a mic, and defend yourself. And that's what being a pro is all about. And guys that want to shy away from that, and now your father has to get in there and on your behalf, it's not going to bode well for you in the league.
That's going to happen a lot. Team USA, they are off and running. They're about ready to get started here on a lot of little showcases or friendlies. I know they will play Canada here Wednesday night in Las Vegas. They did just have a couple of scrimmages against the youngsters, as Dibs brought up before we went to break. Cooper Flagg and those boys were taking.
Cooper Flagg's going to be good player.
He does not shy away. Like, I've been watching this kid since he was 14.
No.
He was playing against the 18-year-olds.
Very aggressive.
He knows what he's doing on all facets of the game. Yeah, very aggressive. He will take it into your chest down low, and he can shoot the lights out of the place. He has got a lot of skills. But it is fascinating to see some of the best get together. I really like this Team USA.
USA versus Germany's already sold out.
Believe it.
I'm not getting a ticket.
Totally believe it. So they got Australia, they got Serbia coming up. They've got, the Germany game's not for a while. And then we'll start play, July 28th, I do believe, is a part of the actual Olympics games. But, yeah, when you look at the roster, dude, it's stacked up. Now, there will be better competition this year compared to other years as the Euros continue to get awesome. The Australian teams continue to get awesome. Heck, I'd expect some great competition from some of the South American teams.
How the hell is Mark Few a coach? How is Dan Hurley not a coach? We smoked your Gonzaga butt.
I think Few's been in there for a while.
Tyronn Lue, come on.
I think Tyron's new. I do like that staff. Who else is on there?
Eric Spoelstra, Steve Kerr's
saw that. Saw that.
I love the interview that they were trying to say about Klay Thompson being gone. Splash Brothers, no more. They look sad. They're depressed.
I'm sad about it.
I'm just kind of sad about it.
I was fans of that crew.
You don't realize how good Klay Thompson was for a time. I mean, when that dude was shooting 42% from three, I mean, we're always talking about Steph Curry. That dude was pulling some big-time weight, 26 points per.
Oklahoma City, Golden State, Game 5. They're down 3-1. Steph is broke as a joke, and I think Draymond Green's already fouled out. 35 points later in a third to fourth quarter from Klay Thompson. Golden State survives. They move on. They win the next two, and I think that's the finals. They end up losing to Cleveland. I could be wrong there, but it definitely changed the mind of Kevin Durant. I got to get the hell off this team and on Golden State. But I'll never forget that game from Klay Thompson. That was a season saver, a playoff saver. That guy's had many of those.
Good God, Anthony Edwards is 22 years old?
Yeah, 22. Probably the best player on that team. Could be the best player on that team.
That dude is money. Yeah.
Long way to go.
This is a good line right here. This if you were going to say hockey and this is a line. Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton. Here's another one. Drew Holiday, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Jason Tatum.
Those are all your forwards?
This is just something. This is alphabetical. Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis. Dude, this is money. This is a dream team right here.
Yeah, they're good.
They're good.
They should be.
They're good.
They should be gold medalists by the end of it. Speaking of being money, more people getting paid around the country, and a lot of people, most people don't even know. When I was in Orlando, the big story was Franz Wagner getting over $200 million from the Orlando Magic. Franz, who most people said, even that lived in Orlando,
Wisconsin or Michigan, didn't he play for one of those?
A lot of Michigan. A lot of people were asking, "Wow, the Magic, they're still doing it, huh?" Like, yeah,
Magic wasn't bad last year.
To the tune of $200 million. Tavius Caldwell Pope also got signed up to the Orlando Magic and said that it was their recent success in the playoffs that turned him over to becoming a free agent to the Magic.
But their collective bargaining agreement is as good or better than MLB's.
Somebody's got to get it on that team.
Exactly. So someone's got to get your max contract and the veterans contract, the rookie deals. I mean, it's basically that's what you get. You're in that area. That's what you're going to get paid. They can't get around it. So this guy got a big contract. And they're like, well, he's making more than this guy and this guy. It's all relative. It's like saying Shohei's getting paid or Patrick Mahomes is getting paid. Listen, they're going to get the most right now because a few years ago Josh Allen got the most. You know, that's just the way things work.
Yeah,
in these
but
sports.
You're naming Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, like these are guys that.
But on his team, Wagner's the best guy, so Wagner's getting the max money.
That's crazy.
Or else you let him go.
That's crazy to me. Franz Wagner. Good luck to you, Orlando. Dan Hurley got paid 6 years, $50 million. This is great for our community, I would think. This keeps, I would say, feet on solid ground for a while.
Well, I mean, it keeps. It's good for recruiting, but it's also the guys that are already here. They don't have to transfer and go somewhere else. He tried to get more money. I'm sure he got more money for his coaching staff. It keeps them here. So, listen, that's the one thing about Gino Auriemma and Chris Daly. Been together for 4 decades. They've run in and out a bunch of different assistants and stuff, but having that core of those 2 great coaches has really helped the program. They both do a great job of recruiting. So, Tom Moore's a great recruiter. He was great with Calhoun. He's just as good now with Hurley. So all of these guys have their roles to play in making this organization great.
Man, I think that is a big part of the secret sauce to the success of UConn basketball, of having the same coaching staff, more so the same coaching staff than playing a good cop, bad cop role with people that are coming in and out all the time. Like Coach Daly and Coach Gino, and I'm not going to tell you which one's good cop and which one's bad cop, and sometimes you don't know. I think those
Chris
rules,
is tough.
Yes.
I've heard from, we've talked many women on this show that she's the toughest, but she keeps them all together.
But
she makes
Gino's
them a
not
family.
like the parent that you ask when mom says no.
No, he's like the crazy grandfather with the foul mouth, and he's just going to pop off all the time.
But them having the relationship that they have developed in a coaching world where they can play those 2 roles, they can be somewhat people for them to go to on top of people that can get coached tough. And I think Kamani Young and Coach Hurley, throw in Luke, throw in Coach Moore, having those guys there, they can play those different roles with different players, and I do think it is a part of their success.
Oh, yeah. Well, Luke Murray is the brains. He brought over the European style, the football playing style that they've incorporated. Klingen's talked a lot about it and how many different ways they can do certain things, and that's one of the reasons why he feels he can go right into the NBA, and all these guys can go right in the NBA, and they won't be overwhelmed because they had so many plays that they ran through their offense.
That's going to be the next, thing that everyone gets, I think, nervous about is these assistants, as much as Coach Hurley is getting paid and Coach Hurley may have given them some kind of boost in their own personal salaries. When these other Big Ten and SEC schools come calling, they're going to come with Brinks trucks for these guys, and it's going to be tough to keep that core together on the men's basketball side. It's easier on women's basketball because the money isn't there across the board like it is for men's basketball. And these other schools, like the Big Ten, is going to have so much more money to play with. And then when you're talking about these schools being able to go straight with their NIL, we'll use air quotes, for these players, it's going to be a hard fight to fight over the off seasons. But this thing had to get done. I think when you look at 6 years, $50 million, you're not being scared by some other less than university trying to poach Coach Hurley with that number. But the assistant coach thing, I think it's important. I think it's been a reason they're successful, but I don't see it sticking around very often.
Well, the most difficult thing is you want to get $8 million a year. You want to get $5 million a year if you're a coach. But for those guys, do you want to leave a successful program where you're embedded because you can go somewhere and then 2-3 years down the road? Because you're no longer getting the tenure you used to get. You used to get a 5 or 6 year deal. You stayed for 6 years. Now they'll buy you out. Like you said, yes, they have the money, but they also have the money like Jimbo Fisher to buy you the hell out for $100 million.
It. He
ain't complaining, but going to be hard for him to get another big gig like that or go backward if this is your big shot and you fail at it. You're not going to be able to go back to UConn, and it's very rare you can go back to where you left because someone's already filled that void. So for some of these guys that are young, it's knowing when to do it. Tom Moore has left UConn, went to Quinnipiac, back at UConn. Probably very blessed and feels blessed to be in that situation, winning national championships again. Did 3 with Calhoun and now 2 with Hurley. Pretty impressive stuff. So, yeah, I'm sure they get offers, but the one thing that Gino always said is, he had this program where he wanted it. He didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave and try and go do it somewhere else. He didn't feel that was necessary. And that's the big difference here with this new contract for Hurley. He's only here for 6 years, and he'll be relatively young enough. He'll be about 58, 59 years old, where then if he wants to go into the NBA, he can go right to the NBA and go in that direction if he thinks he needs a new challenge.
And I'd love seeing 6 years, but it still makes me nervous because these contracts don't really mean much when it comes to years. And you're talking about buyouts. These other schools could buy out that contract in a couple of years if they feel necessary. And that's just going to put more pressure on UConn. But good problem to have, man. When you're winning, a lot of people want your services.
All right, when we come back, we'll do Dibbles and Bits, and then next hour we'll get back into the Red Sox and the Yankees and some of the MLB stuff that's going on that we didn't get into earlier. It's the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell in your afternoon drive. Kurt Kaplan on the ones and twos. John Ashmead is on the video on our YouTube channel. We'll be right back on Fox Sports Radio.